Machines. As soon as I say that, everybody out there has something slightly different pop up in their head. Probably the most common thing is something between machines are bad and machines are simple. There's nothing to know. This is actually a great example. Now, as soon as I point to this machine and it has a brand on it, if you've learned anything about this brand from the marketing literature, you already have a good and a bad in your idea, in your mind, about the idea of what it provides, assuming you don't hate machines in the first place, right? Let's dispel all of that. With this machine is actually the best one to do it on. This machine is marketed as having some supposedly really cool features that supposedly allow you specific strategies for how to train specific ways and or specific things, specific ranges of influence, that type of thing. And they offer a protocol of settings, 9 settings of a cam, and tell you how each one of those is going to offer something different. But one setting is supposed to offer the same thing for each individual that sits on it. And one setting is supposed to offer the same thing no matter which way they're pulling on the machine. No matter their height, no matter their seat setting. Here's what we're going to find. If you're tolerant enough and have an attention span long enough and are willing to actually explore and most importantly get rid of your unfounded biases, because we cannot dismiss something until we know darn near everything about it. And the funny thing is, the more you know about something, very often you start to see in a world that's filled with tools, where a specific tool might have a specific place, if you have the skill to know how and when and with whom to use it. You want to see something? That's how bad at math I am. I got 9 potential cam settings, 9 potential seat settings. And for some people, a lot of people, that don't have this kind of span of bottom to fingertips, those are all 9 possibilities. Well, that's not tough math. That's 81. 81 possible variations for a given individual, just between the 9 settings here and the 9 settings here. Okay? Well, let's take that and figure in that you could pull slightly different at the top and slightly different, at the top you could pull slightly different angles. Those angles change things. So for every seat setting and cam setting, you could pull this way or this way ever so slightly, and it matters. So this is all going to be multiplied by something else. But before we do that, when you're at the bottom of the motion, you could be pulling slightly here or pulling slightly here, and a lot of that has to do with, well, you and how well you fit the machine, and also choices, which can also be the choice of the trainer, or the choice not to control what's happening. Let's take 1, 2, 3, 4 times 81. I don't know, we got 324 possible variations that influence the resistance profile, that influence what this tool might or might not do for a given individual. Oh, wait a minute, individuals. Let's say that there's only 2 individuals in the world. Someone that's not just my height. Please don't just simplify it as height. I've stood by people that were my same height and had a trunk that was literally 3 inches shorter. And you don't think that's going to change how we fit into the machine when we sit on this with the same seat setting? So it's the proportions of these things. But let's say you've got an exactly me, and let's say you've got an exactly Amanda with her proportions. Let's put in 2 different people, because there's only 2 types of people in the world. I have 648 objectively, substantial, viable, undeniable factors in this machine across 2 clients. But it's simple, right? There's nothing to know. None of it really matters. You just have them pull. This doesn't even bring into play all the myths of, well, when you do a wide pull down, it works the width, and all these crazy things that we impose on top of it. These are objective. This is why we need to know our tools. Dismissing it, this is the beauty of it, guys. I'm sorry, this is what totally creates impact in the responsibility. None of this goes away because we choose to ignore it. You know, ignore is the root word of ignorant, right? There's a lot to know if you really want to be a professional. The question is, do we accept the responsibility? Isn't it?